All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're tackling something pretty awesome, rocket science.
Yeah,
You sent in some questions about how to get into that whole world, how to become a rocket scientist. So
right.
we've got some excerpts from a guide on just that. We're going to break it down
Yep.
and map out, the whole journey from high school, like what classes should you take all the way to,
Stuff, yeah.
potential, career, like maybe at NASA, right? Or wherever your space dreams kind of take you.
Well, it sounds like you're interested in a really exciting field. Formally it's called aerospace engineering, but
Right.
it's really just about combining cutting-edge tech
Mm-hmm.
with, that age-old dream of flight.
So before we get into the how-tos, I think we got to break down what this actually, what did he, yeah, IS, right? What are these, I'm still going to call them rocket scientists.
Uh-huh.
What do they do? Is it all about building rockets or, is it bigger than that?
It's way bigger than just rockets. Aerospace engineering, think of anything that flies, right?
Uh-huh.
Airplanes, helicopters, drones, satellites, spacecraft. Even the tech behind GPS falls under this umbrella.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot more than I was
Uh-huh.
thinking. But like, how would you describe like the day-to-day of an aerospace engineer? What are they actually doing?
It's like a constant dance
Mhm.
between theory and practice. Like
Mhm.
they're using physics, math, and computer science to design and test these really complex machines.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about software like CATIA or ANSYS to, create intricate 3D models
Yeah.
and then running simulations to see how they behave under crazy conditions.
Oh, wow. So they actually get to build and test these designs in real life, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
They work with a variety of materials, things like lightweight composites or high-strength alloys.
Oh, wow.
And they collaborate with technicians to bring those virtual designs into the real world. It's like this constant cycle of innovation, testing, and refinement.
So I'm hearing like unique challenges. Like this isn't like other types of engineering, right?
Not at all. You have to think about the extreme temperatures a spacecraft has to endure, the pressure on an aircraft during supersonic flight, and then the complexities of just operating in space. You've got the vacuum, you know.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be real though. We've talked about the cool stuff, but I know everybody wants to know like what's the earning potential, right?
Right.
Our source mentioned like a NASA salary range. It was like $85,000 to $137,000.
Mm.
Is that the whole picture?
That's a good starting point, but it's not the whole story, really. Salaries in the private sector, they can be even higher, especially for like very specialized roles.
Okay.
Like someone with deep expertise in, let's say, propulsion systems or autonomous flight control could be making significantly more.
So it's not just about working for NASA. There are other paths.
There are, and they're lucrative too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a growing demand for aerospace engineers across a bunch of different industries.
Yeah.
From commercial aviation to defense contracting to even, space tourism.
That's so cool. All right. So let's say there's a high school student listening right now who is completely hooked on this idea. They want to design, I don't know, the next spacecraft or the next, hypersonic aircraft.
Right.
Where do they even start? What advice would you give them to set themselves up for success?
Well, it all starts with a solid foundation. You really want to focus on those STEM subjects, like your math, your physics, chemistry, computer science. That's the backbone of everything we do in aerospace engineering.
So hit the books. Really master those core subjects.
Yeah, but it's not just memorizing facts for an exam,
Okay.
It's about understanding the underlying principles and using them creatively to solve problems.
Which I guess makes sense in this kind of field.
It does.
Are there any like extracurriculars that would be like perfect for a budding rocket scientist?
Oh, absolutely.
Boy.
Look for anything that gives you hands-on experience, right?
Right, yeah.
Robotics clubs, science fairs, building and launching model rockets even.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so let's say our high school students got the grades, they've got some hands-on experience, it's time for college. Our source mentions like some big name schools, right? MIT, Caltech, Stanford, places known for their awesome aerospace engineering programs.
Yeah, those are fantastic choices, but remember, choosing a college is a very personal decision.
Right.
Don't chase a name brand. It's more about finding the right fit for you for how you learn.
So it's not just about the best school, it's about the best fit for your goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take the time to research different programs, look into what the faculty specialize in,
Right.
what research they're doing. Are you looking for a program that's strong in computational fluid dynamics, for example?
Oh, wow.
Or maybe you're more interested in space systems design or autonomous flight control.
Yeah.
You really have to, think about those things.
So many paths. How do you even begin to make that decision?
I think the best way is to figure out what excites you most within the field. What are
Hmm.
you curious about? What problems do you want to solve? Are you fascinated by designing spacecraft?
Mm.
Or maybe improving the efficiency of air travel? Your passion, that'll lead you to the right programs and the right specializations.
Okay, so we've covered like the basics of what aerospace engineering is, the need for a solid foundation, how to find the right college fit. But what happens after college? Like how do they actually launch their career?
That's when things get really interesting.
Okay.
In part two, we're going to explore internships, different specializations within the field, and all the different career paths that are open to you.
All right. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deeper into the world of aerospace engineering. And, we've talked a lot about passion, finding the right college program.
Right.
But how does that translate into an actual career? Like, is it realistic to think you can just graduate and boom, land a job at NASA?
Well, it definitely happens. But I think the journey to a really fulfilling aerospace career usually involves a good mix of education, A&D, some hands-on experience.
Okay, so like what kind of hands-on experience are we talking?
Think of it like building a rocket, right?
Okay.
You need a strong foundation, which is your academic studies,
Okay.
but you also need those powerful engines. And that's the practical
The
experience.
engines. Okay, I like that analogy. So what are the best ways to get that experience before, you're actually out there looking for a job?
Internships, for sure,
Right.
and co-op programs. They're invaluable.
Okay.
They're like a launch pad. You get to apply all that theoretical stuff you've been learning to real-world projects. You could be working alongside, experienced engineers contributing to the design of a new satellite, or even running simulations to analyze airflow over, an aircraft wing.
That sounds like way more than like getting coffee and making copies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying these internships actually give you a taste of what it's really like
Exactly.
to be an aerospace engineer.
Yeah, and you get exposed to tech and practices that you might not see in just the classroom,
Right, right.
like working with software for computational fluid dynamics,
Wow. Yeah.
learning about the latest in composite materials, that kind of stuff.
Aside from the technical stuff, are there other like advantages to these hands-on experiences?
You're also building a network, making
Mm.
connections. You'll meet engineers from all kinds of disciplines, learn about their career paths, and you might even find mentors who can really help guide you.
That's such a good point. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that aerospace engineering, it has all these different areas you can specialize in.
Hmm.
Like, what are some examples? How do you even choose which one's right for you?
It comes back to that passion thing we talked about. Like, let's say you're obsessed with, designing spacecraft to handle the crazy conditions of deep space travel.
Right.
Maybe you specialize in spacecraft structures or thermal systems. Or maybe you're all about making air travel more efficient and sustainable.
Oh.
Then specializing in aerodynamics or, propulsion systems, those could be a good fit.
So it's about matching what you're interested in with the specific challenges in aerospace engineering.
Exactly. And the cool thing is you don't need to have everything figured out right away.
That's good.
A lot of aerospace engineers start broad and then really discover their passion through internships, research, even their first few jobs.
That takes a lot of pressure off. So let's say our aspiring rocket scientists, they've graduated, they've got some good internship experience, maybe they've even like started to narrow down their specialty. What's next? How do they actually like launch their career?
The aerospace industry is huge EE, so there are lots of paths you could take.
Okay.
Landing a job at NASA, that's the dream for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's definitely achievable if you have the skills, the experience, and the dedication. But it's not the only option.
So what else is out there?
The private sector is exploding with opportunity. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, they're pushing the boundaries of space travel. They need talented engineers
Mm.
to develop spacecraft, propulsion systems, even like space infrastructure.
Wow. It sounds like a lot of adventure, a lot of pioneering spirit.
Oh, definitely. And then for those who are maybe more drawn to the more traditional side of things, you have companies like Boeing, Airbus, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, all those big names.
Right.
They offer tons of career paths. You could be working on commercial aircraft,
Yeah.
military jets, helicopters, drones, even like super advanced defense systems.
That's incredible. It seems like no matter what you're into, there's a place for you in this field.
There really is. And that's not even counting all the research institutions and government agencies that are constantly pushing the limits
Yeah.
of aerospace technology. We're talking hypersonic aircraft, advanced materials, even things like space-based solar power, asteroid mining.
It's mind-blowing. So we've covered a lot, the different specializations, internships, all the different career paths you can take. But with so many options and, it's such a competitive field, what can someone do to really stand out, to increase their chances of success?
That's a great question. I think, obviously, technical skills are important. Your education is crucial. But there's one thing that often gets overlooked, and that's, well,
Oh, gotta leave us hanging. We'll be right back to reveal that secret ingredient and wrap up our deep dive into aerospace engineering. And we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into the world of aerospace engineering. You were about to tell us that secret ingredient to really make someone stand out in this field.
well, it's the same force that launches those rockets into space.
Okay,
Passion.
passion. Okay, I get that being passionate about space or flight is, motivating.
hmm
But how does that actually help you succeed in such a tough field?
Aerospace engineering, it's not easy. It really pushes you to your limits. You're constantly learning. There are always challenges. Passion is what keeps you going when things get tough.
Hmm.
When those experiments fail, the equations get messy, deadlines are coming up fast.
So it's not just about loving space. It's like you need that fire to keep you going when it gets hard.
Exactly. Think about the engineers who designed, the Mars rovers.
Mm-hmm.
They had so many setbacks, so many unknowns,
Right.
but they were passionate about pushing the boundaries of space exploration, and that kept them going.
Makes sense. Passion helps you overcome the obstacles. But how can someone, especially someone who's just starting out,
Yeah.
how can they nurture that passion?
Be curious.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what about the universe? What mysteries really get you thinking? What problems are you interested in solving? Do you dream of designing spacecraft that can reach other planets? Or is it more about making air travel, more sustainable?
So it's about finding those specific things within aerospace engineering that spark your imagination.
Yeah. And then dive into them. Read, watch documentaries, visit those air and space museums, go online, find communities. Surround yourself with the world of aerospace. Let your curiosity lead the way.
So it's not just about learning, it's about actively engaging with your passions, right?
Exactly. Take it even further. Build model rockets, experiment with drones, try, I don't know, coding some basic flight simulations.
Cool.
Those hands-on experiences, they not only help you understand things better, but they also help you figure out what parts of aerospace engineering really click with you.
So you're taking the knowledge and turning it into skills and real experiences.
Yeah. And in the process, you're making that passion stronger.
This has been amazing. We've covered so much, the basics of aerospace engineering, the importance of education and experience, the power of specializing, and of course, passion.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought.
Okay.
Aerospace engineering, it's more than just building stuff that flies. It's about pushing the limits of what humans can do, expanding our understanding of the universe, and shaping the future of, exploration and innovation.
That's pretty inspiring. So, to everyone listening, if you feel that passion for aerospace engineering, don't ignore it. Let it guide you.
The future of aerospace, it's waiting to be written,
Yeah.
and you can be part of that story.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. We hope you learned a lot, and we hope you're feeling inspired. Now go out there and make those aerospace dreams a reality.